What is up? Welcome, everyone, to Duct Tape Dynasty. I am the Duct Tape Dude.
I'm the dude.
And this is week five of our NFL Pick'em podcast broadcast. Thanks for joining us. We are sponsored by QB54, the game before the game. If you don't know what that is, go to playqb54.com. Check it out, or stick around until after this show, and you can see a video of what QB54 is all about. I see a shadow moving behind me and a tail wagging. There is a St. Bernard that has joined us. There she is. You see her? Wow. Bailey, why don't you get in your chair, girl? Of course, she's been chilling out the whole time until now it's showtime, and so now she wants to come say hi. She wants to be part of it. Bailey, come here. Come here. Let's see if they can see. They can kind of see you. Hi, girl. Hi. I love you, but you got to go get in your chair. Now's not the time. Come on. Go get in your chair. Go get in your chair. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Bailey has made an appearance. There she is over the shoulder with the games of the week. By the way, tonight it is Washington at Chicago, or Chicago at Washington, I guess. It's backwards where I see it. Anyway, sorry, Bailey, you're locked in here for the show now, girl. This is it. Man alive. It's been a better week, and I am so excited that it's Thursday because that means football is back, baby. And you know what else? Speaking of back, look who's back. Back again. Andrew's back. Tell a friend. Oh, man. We can't get copyrighted for that one because we don't sing good enough. And we don't have any music. Wally actually, and hi, by the way. Hi, Andrew. Welcome back. How are you? 4 weeks, four weeks in a row now? Is this
straight month?
Holy smokes. My goodness. We, I did put an open invite out there. All you boys, come on. Just let me know who wants to come on. And we'll do it.
I'll step aside.
I'll
step aside for him, too.
Andrew is always there as old trusty to step in when we need him to. So he says he'll step aside if anybody else wants a piece of this. But right now, it's Andrew and I again. And we've got Bailey in the room somewhere that's trying to escape. Anyway, how are you, brother? How was your week? It's Thursday. It's good. Football day now.
It's football day. And my week, actually, as far as... we don't have 4-day school weeks at my school, but with students, today was the last day for this week. So I still have to go into work tomorrow, but it feels kind of like a Friday. So we're feeling great. And
good.
What better to have a Friday feeling than with football on top of it?
Yes. Now we kind of return to kind of the old last year's NFL scheduling of Thursday night games. Like this is a matchup that we would have seen last year. The old Commanders and the Bears, like that was every game last year for old Amazon and Kirk and Al. But maybe it's not going to be as big of a dud as it looks like it could be on paper.
It's going to be one-sided. I think it'll be one-sided, but
which side? Which side do you think?
We'll get there.
Okay.
We're going to tease that for later. We'll get there with this week's Spread Our Wings.
Yes. So anyway, wow, what a week we had. We did have some socials out there finally this week. I know the week before we didn't even get a chance to put things out there. But this week we were so busy I built this show. When I say I built the show, like I put together all the slides and all that stuff about 5 minutes before we went live, which is just absolutely typical DTD Duct Tape Dynasty fashion. It's the way it has all been done. And anyway, my point there is I ran out of time to be able to put anything social wise up there. So tonight it is football and football alone. And what a week it was. Things have changed, so let's get right into it, man. Wow. Okay. What happened? How'd we do this week, Andrew?
We did pretty well. Well, some of us did really well. Some of us had a little bit of a slip, if we want to say it. Rounding off, we'll just go down the list from placements from last week in what their records were, and then we'll talk about shifted placements and stuff later and all that fun
Sure.
stuff. But we'll start with the old man. We'll start with the patriarch. We'll start with Wally. He had a rough week.
Did he?
He turned in a performance of the 2010 Dallas Cowboys. Went 8-8.
Yeah. 2010, 2009, 2008, 2007. Like the Dallas Cowboys for since the 90s. Yeah, 8-8.
Yeah.
Wally goes 8-8. I will give him credit though. He did actually write it in on his sheet like he did. And he sent me a picture. So our sheets are 4 weeks at a time, right? And so it was a new sheet this week. And
for instance.
Yeah. And so Wally didn't have to, but he sent an extra picture showing that, yeah, he did indeed write 8-8 in there, because we were giving him crap about going 12-4 and 11-5, 11-5. And I was like, what's going to happen when he doesn't have a good week? Well, he wrote it in there. So props to you, Wally. Wally's in the comments. Anyway, but yeah, so Wally goes 8-8. What else did we have?
He goes 8-8, hits 500. Still, only one person has dropped below 500, and that was unfortunately you last week.
Yep.
We're still all averaging above, so that's great. I had a record of 10-6 last week as well. So did you.
Yeah.
You had a bounce back week for sure.
Yeah.
And I had another consistent week. We stayed both at 10-6. Moving on down the scale, we had Dave. He and I's tie finally broke. He had one game different, and he picked Atlanta last week, probably because his kids wanted to watch the Disney Plus Toy Story version, and he lost that game, so he went 9-7 all told last week.
Yeah, still
our tie is officially broken.
Yeah, so the Thermalins are the ones who had the bad week this week.
That's true.
They both slid kind of big time, but we had some boys really stepping up this week as well.
We did from what we had last year for season 1. It was the 4 of us we just talked about. This year with season 2, we said let's bring in some friends and some family, and the new recruits, as we will call them. They did great this week.
Holy cow, did they?
Bo turned in a 13-3 performance, absolutely stunning everybody, and I know that helped him in the rankings.
Oh, it
from
did.
Where he was last week.
We will get there. It did.
Cole turned in a solid performance, jumping up very well for him as well. He is sat at 12-4 this last week, which was a very solid performance. And then Bully, who took a 1-up on all of us originals, and he is at 11-5 for last week. So he did really well as well.
Yeah, they all really put it on. And you know what? Now Bo actually coming out of nowhere. Let's see on the stats here. He was kind of in the middle, kind of in the. Yep. He was 4th from the bottom. I know there were some ties. I'm looking at it, but yeah,
last week he was sitting solid at 4th place.
Yeah,
at the end of the week.
Yeah, and we'll get to where he went, but I think that's the best week anybody's had now, right? 13-3.
Yeah, this is the next closest was Wally last week at 12-4.
Yep.
Well, Bo has set the bar at 13-3.
Yeah,
so we have some work to do.
You know, Dave's claim to fame is that he had a perfect week last year, but that came with an asterisk.
With one unfortunate circumstance.
Yes. Although this week, that unfortunate circumstance got back out on the field. So the reason Dave got an asterisk next to his perfect week last year was because of the fact that it was the Cincinnati and Buffalo.
Cincinnati-Buffalo.
Yeah, and that was the DeMar Hamlin game, and holy cow, was that a shocker. But, hey, I mean, how's that? He back out there.
He's
back out there. And now, actually, they're going to be over in London to face Jacksonville, who stayed. And I have my opinions on that. But before we get to, I know we just kind of talked about and teased, there's definitely some movement in the standings. I do want to kind of go over some of the games that happened.
Let's do it.
Maybe some surprises.
Yeah.
You know, we did pick similarly on a lot of games. And you even mentioned that last week that, gosh, we all picked the same on, I mean, I'm looking at it. Holy cow, there was a lot. But the standings, the way it worked out did not show that. Like you would think we would all come out the same, but man, oh man, you and I were the only ones with the same record last last week. Everybody else had a different record. And I tell you, at the beginning, when those games first started, so I'm at church. I work at church every Sunday. Mary works at church as well. And so I get back home maybe somewhere towards the end of the first half of the beginning games. And so I turned on the TV and I saw the scores, and like every team I had picked.
We were losing every single one.
I was like, come on, man. I just went 7-9. I've got a record to uphold here. We're losing subscribers at this point, holy cow. It did turn around, thankfully. And actually, that's the second time this year that has happened. I've looked at the scores and been like, oh, no. But they turned it around. Some of them did. Some did. But as I look at the games that were out there where we kind of some surprises, none of us picked Houston against Pittsburgh.
Oh, what were we thinking?
And, I guess maybe we had a little hangover from last year's Houston. But
every year's Houston?
Well, yeah, but CJ Stroud seems to be the real deal. He's top 5 QB in the NFL right now. I think
he's like 4th in passing yards or something like that. He's not that far off.
He is cutting it up, and none of us picked him. None of us.
Nope.
And we all got that one wrong. Man, there was another one. Oh yeah, the Cincinnati-Tennessee game. Everybody picked Cincinnati, and Derrick Henry finally showed up for the season, right? I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to call you for the stats, but man, he had a game, didn't he?
He did. I don't remember what the stats were, but he was looking like Derrick Henry did 3 seasons ago. Yeah. He was looking good.
He was definitely back again, right?
Yeah. Another one that shocked us all. Miami put up 70 points. Everybody was ringing their praises. Miami to the Super Bowl. They're the team to beat. And what did Buffalo do? They said, shut up. We're still here. And they beat them by like 28.
They said
so we all picked
back.
Miami, and we lost it.
Yeah, we did.
Miami
we all
game.
lost that one. Washington, Philly. We all picked Philly. Now, it worked out, but that was one of those that I was like, oh, man, what is going on?
Overtime field goal.
Yeah. Minnesota finally pulled it out.
Yes.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yes.
Wasn't that a toilet bowl game?
Oh my God. We were so close to just not.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Our defense woke up and saved us that game. Holy cow.
And I'm going yes. So thank you, Minnesota, for getting it done. And I'm going back and forth on the Baker Mayfield sweepstakes here. I was the 2 weeks ago or whatever it was when I picked and said, Tampa Bay is going to beat Philly, I think is who I picked them against, because I was all on the Baker train. Then that didn't work out. And but now he goes out. I didn't pick him against New Orleans. And he got her done again. So it'll be interesting to see what Baker Mayfield we get this week. Anyway, any other real surprises out there? Let's see. Let's just go down real quick. Jacksonville got it done. We all kind of expected that. Dave picked Atlanta. That was kind of a surprise. He's doing that. He's picking everyone, and we'll see another one this week where he kind of takes a flyer, and it's just not working out for him so far. It definitely didn't work this last week.
Nope, it didn't. Another one that was kind of a gotcha because Arlene got it wrong was LA Rams, Indianapolis Colts. Because we thought Anthony Richardson, he was back. He was looking good. He seems like he's a guy. So, we were all pretty positive on it, and we just didn't know what the Rams were going to do.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the Rams are going to do. They might have Cooper Kupp back this week. I don't know.
Well, and they got what's his name?
The Rams.
That was
Nakua.
Yeah. Dude, that was a social that I was going to put up there. I did snapshot that, and now that I think about it, I saw a social, and it was, the top 3 receivers for like the last the top 3.
Oh, I think I know what one you mean.
Yeah, like starts to the season by any receivers, and it was Calvin Johnson, it was Cooper
Randy
Kupp.
Moss.
No, it was Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nakua is the one I saw. and it said,
There was
and
one with
Matthew
Randy Moss.
Stafford was the quarterback for all three. It's like,
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, that's that one. But now, I'm kind of getting long-winded here. Dave said he's complaining. Dave's already complaining. Anyway, yeah,
I
he's
got
at
the first
62
pick,
and a
he
half.
complains.
Yeah. He's saying he's at 62.5%. And that'll give us a nice
That's
little
what
segue.
I'm at, not him.
That'll give us.
He fell one game down. I'm at 62.5 and have been all year.
So yeah, let's actually transition to, we talked about who had the wins and the losses this week.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us how that worked out? Because I'm going to put up the standings right now. Boy, were there some changes. Here they come. There
were some
up.
changes.
It's all yours. Take it.
Yeah, last week I was saying, man, we got to end these ties. There was only one tie, and that was for second with me and Dave. And then Atlanta had that break with that loss. Now this week we're like, I was thinking, naturally we're not going to have any ties anymore. We'll have a solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those new guys, they messed it up. We have 3 ties and only one person sitting all by themselves this week.
Yeah, who's that one?
That one is Dave. So if he wants to complain about something, he can complain that he's all by himself at 5th place. Spoiler alert.
So Dave's comment, just so you know, I know you can't see him. He made it based on the old percentages. He said, I'm 62.5%, doing something right compares to you boys.
Yet he was tied with me, so nothing was different.
Well, he fell 3 places from 62.5% to 60.9% with his 9 and 7 week. But I'm sorry, I'm stealing your thunder. You go ahead.
You're good.
Continue, please.
We can trash talk. It's all right. But no, Wally's still up in the lead, sitting there, but now he's not by himself. He's tied. As you can see, it looks like he fell 1. He didn't really fall. Bo just rose to the occasion.
Yes.
So
and now
Bo
the
and
reason
Wally
I
are
listed
now
it that
tied.
way, is I based, when it's tied, I go, okay, well, I got to pick something. So Bo had the better week. And so that's why I put him on top. So I show him as going up 4 places officially. So sorry if I'm a little off from what you're saying, but.
No, you're good. I figured we'd bounce back and forth. We'll make that work. Wally and Bo are sitting tied at 42 and 22 on the season, tied for first place. Bo had a huge week, shot himself up the rankings, which I figured he would, and now Wally's not by himself anymore.
The question is, did Bo make those picks or did Sierra?
That is the question, after all. After the last fiasco, we need to figure that out.
We do. We need to figure out who's really managing that team. Is this another scenario where we're just getting mopped by a girl? It might be. Anyway, continue, please.
That's fair. Moving into the next spot is a tie for third. I didn't go anywhere. My percentage stayed the same for the year at 62.5. That seems like my sweet spot for right now. I hope that changes for the better. But Cole, with his amazing week, he jumped up. And now, since he had the better week, it looks like he's placed ahead of me. He and I are sitting there tied for third, trying to battle it out for the last podium spot. Dave, sitting all by himself at 5th place at 39 and 25 overall on the season. And he fell just a little bit, but not too bad. He's sitting there right in the middle. And then we have another tie for 6th. You had a good week, but not enough to get you back up into the top. You and Bully are tied at 6th place out of 7 with a 37 and 27 record on the season.
Yes.
What will happen this week? I don't know, because we have a lot of similarities in picks this week. We have a few that might shake things up, but we'll get to that when we get that graphic up.
Yeah.
Like we said, it looked similar last week, but the ratings didn't show it. We'll see what happens this week.
So I kind of like this graphic here because, I had previously had put up the old and then we went right to the new, and it was kind of like, well, wait a second, who went up, who went down? And so that's why I built this graphic. Now, you do have a point in that percentage-wise, yes, the Bo moving up 4 is not totally accurate, but hey, that's the way I built it. So Bo, heck of a job. Really, all you guys, heck of a job. The fact that we have now gotten through the first 4 weeks of the season, and as I said at the beginning of the season, really that first 5 weeks, so that's this week included, that's where we feel it out. We figure out who's got what team. Of course, there's some injuries that are going to happen and whatnot, but we kind of shake it out and we get some analytics and are able to somewhat evaluate and assess who is who. So the fact that we are now we're not through week 5, we're going into week 5, but we are all above 500 right now. Now I boast and now I've officially put an asterisk next to it. At the beginning of our show, the show title every week, it says, 72.8% accuracy. That was last year. And that was my accuracy rating. So hopefully I get it together, because as you see now, officially I won last year with that 72.8. Of course, I'm going to advertise the highest percentage, no matter who it was going to be. But man, oh man, I'm down there at 57.8, but still above 500. What did you say the overall record was for me and Bully? 37.
The overall record for you and Bully was 37-27, and
okay.
I see you set up this graphic and you have everything. You're there. You put yourself at the bottom of the graphic, and it's a good thing you abandoned your original idea that you told the crowd, because I'm going to ask you, who would have ended up with the pink if you didn't make that change?
It surely would have been me. I'm glad I changed my mind last week. So, I would have been.
I'll rock the pink. It's all right.
I would have been the pink guy. So, yeah. Speaking of pink, I was supposed to go to a Pink concert last Friday for my birthday. My birthday was on Saturday. She ended up canceling, man, and it was a bummer. But I thought that we weren't going to be able to go to the reschedule. But I was off by a day. So it turns out it looks like we're going to be able to go to the rescheduled concert. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. So what it was, it's getting rescheduled right around Thanksgiving time. And of course, I've got a kid in college at Montana State, following in our footsteps. We're both Montana State grads. My dad and mom are Montana State grads. Anyway, he's there and he will be home for Thanksgiving. And I thought that he was going to be leaving like the day after the concert. And so I was like, there's no way I'm going to go bail with potentially 2 days left to hang out with my kid, who I haven't seen in forever. It feels like, this is the first time I've had a kid out of the house. And so I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that, even to go see this Pink concert. But it turns out he leaves the day before the concert. So it's going to work out. And I'm pretty excited.
Awesome.
And the cool thing is, so it's at the Globe Life or whatever. I can't remember. They're the baseball field. They're in Arlington.
Okay. Yep.
Well, Texas, Oklahoma, it's about 1,000 degrees here at this time of year. Well, come November something, it'll probably be like 65 and perfect, man. It's going to be awesome. So I'm pumped. I'm pretty pumped for that. So that's good news. Things are going well. We hope that everybody out there is doing well as well. We need to, something I just thought of right before you and I came on here. I was scrolling through the old TikToks, and old Mike was on there. NFL Mike, one of our first NFL guests. And he was making his picks with his boys and whatnot. And I'd like to know how we're doing, kind of reference. I want to see where we stack, or maybe where our lean stacks. I don't know. It's something to look up. We should make a note somewhere. We should look that up and see how he's doing. And by the way, F1 returns this weekend. I know this is not an F1 show, but I did have that birthday that we talked about, and I got a lot of cool F1 gifts. So I officially now have an F1 shirt. It's a Ferrari shirt. Carlos Sainz, my favorite driver. Landon got me some Carlos Sainz stuff. Aiden actually got me this new hat. So new duct tape dude hat. So anyway, some cool stuff. Not to brag on my birthday, but yeah.
It's your birthday. Why not?
It's my birthday, and I'm not going to cry. I'm going to celebrate if I want to. So, hey, let's, what the heck? Let's get to our spread our wings section, you say? Do you have anything else to cover? Have I stepped on you enough?
No, you're good. We're good. Let's move on to spread our wings and see how even The Ducks picked this week.
Yes, yes. Although we thought we did that last week, and look at how it worked out.
I think this week's more. This week looks more even than last.
It really does, and I think
less games.
It'll be interesting to see. And here we go. So now I'm pulling it over. There we go. New rankings up top. So you see Bo right on top there, 65.6%. With Wally as well. They both are now ahead of the lean, which is at 64.1. And then you see the rest of them there. But so this week's games, as I have over my shoulder here tonight, is Chicago, Washington. We all pick Washington. Does Chicago have any shot?
No.
Not at all.
Can I say it any faster?
Yes, that was that was almost as quick as the MVP vote for Peyton Manning. That took 15 seconds, apparently. I think you answered in about 2. So I'm going to actually, this is something I used to do when we originally did this show is you guys would pick via the comments and then I would just sit there and I'm pulling up, stats and whatnot and going, okay, you know what? I'm going to take this team. And so as I pull this up, these teams are not totally different, but it does look like Washington definitely has the upper hand in about every category.
They just about beat a Super Bowl team from last year, and they made it look interesting. So yeah. I don't think Chicago has a shot. Chicago nearly beat Denver. It's Denver. No offense to the Colonel, Uncle Chris, and Bo, but it's Denver.
It is, and boy, are they abysmal.
Okay, you about beat a high school team with another high school team.
Yeah. Right. And actually that game, speaking of Denver, that was another game that, that wasn't, sorry, I'm misspeaking here. I almost said that was another game that was hard to pick. I'm saying that Denver game was actually not an easy one to pick because both the Jets and the Broncos are terrible. This is almost another toilet bowl game. They're both at 1-3. Who'd you go with?
I went with if I remember correctly, I went with the Jets.
You did.
Just based off of, we thought Zach Wilson couldn't play football, and last week he played some football.
He did.
And, the meme was everywhere, and I'm going to keep it going. Taylor Swift was there. It's going to be a thing. Travis Kelce, he'd score. He'd look up at Taylor. Zach Wilson would score, and he'd look up at Donna and say, "What's up, Mama Kels?"
Oh my God. Oh, my God. Oh, no. That took me a minute. If you don't get that one, just text us later. That was good, dude. That took me a second. Anyway, Zach Wilson apparently has a thing for people's moms. Jeez. So as I go to the matchup, so I had gone back and forth on this, and I officially, gosh darn, I thought I switched it. I have Denver picked for me. I thought I went back to the Jets. The reason that I thought I went back to the Jets, I'm not sure why I didn't, is because Denver's defense is horrific. Let me go through this real quick.
Oh, it was bad.
Total yards per game. Denver ranks 32nd in defense. Passing yards per game, 31st. Rushing yards, 32nd. Points, 32nd. Third down percentage, they're only 24th worst in the NFL.
Oh, only still the bottom third.
So I thought I switched that, and maybe it's too late now. I can't undo it, but
it's out there. It's on the internet.
Yeah, it's on the interwebs. I can't undo it, but yeah, that game was a tough one to pick, and it shows. We went. I think it's leaning New York Jets.
New York by 1.
By 1, yeah. So, and you know what? If I could, I would switch it, but I can't. That's my own rules. I'm not going to break them. So now. The Jacksonville Buffalo thing. Jacksonville, this is the first year that they're doing the whole, we're trying. This is kind of a tryout, in my opinion, for a home team over in London. So. You think so? Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, I think they got a long way to go to be able to make that happen because that is tough. That travel is tough. I used to live there. Both my
Yeah.
kids were born there. Just ask Dave. He came over and had a miserable time there because he never got on the sleep schedule. I think we brought Dave. Did we bring you over for Christmas one year? I think. Anyway, yeah. So they're over there for 2 weeks. My opinion, just from my experience, I think that second week is actually going to hurt them because I think you can get over there and back and kind of just miss the jet lag, sort of. Although I'm going to kind of
fully set in it this time.
I'm gonna contradict myself on that point later, I believe, when we talk about Atlanta. But yeah, I don't know. I think the fact that, they're over there, they've all got their spouses over there. If you watch, Trevor Lawrence and his spouse is a big, social media person and whatnot, and they're out doing all the things. And I know that, the NFL is trying to get to London. Like we just said, they're trying to essentially get a team there. And so they parade these guys around, and I think those Jacksonville boys are going to be wore out. I think they're going to come out flat, and I think Buffalo is just going to absolutely destroy them. That's my prediction. What do you think?
I think Jacksonville, I think they might acclimate well. I think they might like the fact that they had that time to adjust. So I think they'll come out not flat per se. I think they might come out all right, but I think Buffalo is just the better team. And after last week's win, where they pretty much shut up all of America, they are going to show up and say, okay, England, it's your turn. We're going to beat the team that's stayed here and become your favorite because they've stayed here. And I think Buffalo is just going to come in and show that they are a team again. Will they get all the way? I don't know. We can't say that. It's way too soon.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to come in and be a contender once more.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But we all pick Buffalo. I think I think that's kind of an easy pick. We all pick Miami against New York. Danny Dimes has just proven himself to be the old Danny Dimes, right?
That's true.
You see anything with the New York Giants that says they might be able to stop Miami?
No, I think the Giants, the only thing that's going to be giant about their week is the giant L that they have to go home with.
Yeah. Sorry, Cole. Cole is a Giants fan.
Yeah. Sorry, Cole. And for those of you, if you're watching in the chat that aren't a part of our pickers, please drop your picks of who you think is going to win in the comments. That helps us out. It helps out the algorithm, and it makes it more entertaining for everybody.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
Yes, I think the Giants are going to walk home with a giant L, and that's about it.
Yeah, I agree. Now, we didn't talk about it for last week, but New England took a heck of an L last week, didn't they? Or did
Bill Belichick's biggest loss? We didn't talk about it, but it was Bill Belichick's biggest loss in history as a head coach, at loss of 35 points.
So
because the Dallas Cowboys woke up last week.
Boy, did they. And that's actually kind of why I picked New England. This was another one that I thought was kind of tough to pick, this New Orleans, New England game. Bill Belichick and his track record, I'm like, is this dude really going to just take another L at home after something like that? It's just not Bill Belichick's way. Now, this is a much different team than Bill Belichick has had, but that's why I picked him, I think.
I think it'll be an interesting game to watch no matter what, because, do we think Bill Belichick will let the team get punched in the mouth twice? I don't know. Will New Orleans step up to the plate? Quite possibly. They have a team to do it, so we'll just have to see. This one is leaning towards New Orleans overall, 4-3. So it could be good for half the crew, or good for half the crew either way. It'll be interesting to see.
Did they bench Jones? I don't think they benched Jones, did they?
I don't think so. I think they still have him.
Yeah. So any gotcha games out there? There's a few I'm looking at. I don't know if you have the graphic in front of you.
I do.
The next few we definitely we all pick Baltimore. We all pick Detroit. We all pick Houston after nobody picked Houston. Which, let me say one thing on that, and then I'll let you answer the gotcha game thing. The Houston, I more picked that because of how CJ Stroud is I mean, I can't believe that we've just ignored how well he's played so far this season. Granted,
Yeah,
it's Houston, but so I picked him pretty much for CJ Stroud and what he's doing. But I also do think that Atlanta, look, I know they went out and back real quick, and I just kind of said maybe that's the move for these London games. But that is a lot of travel, bro. And so I think that even though they're at home, I think CJ Stroud gets that one easily done.
Yeah,
Do you think
I
that's
think so.
Yeah.
I think that's the case. I think Atlanta, they might, since they're at home, they might make it a good game. I just think by what I've watched, Atlanta's looked all right, but I think they're putting too much on their rookie running back, Bijan Robinson. I mean, with good reason. He's their best player out there. But I think they're putting too much on one guy, and I think Houston's going to catch them because Houston got Jacksonville pretty big, and Jacksonville got Atlanta. So,
Okay.
it's any given Sunday, but I think Houston just might have it figured out and might start to be dialing up some good stuff with CJ Stroud.
Yeah. And Wally actually pointed out Atlanta's favored by a point. I have them at 1.5 points.
It'll be close.
I'm not a betting man. We don't even have the ability to sports bet here in Oklahoma, even if I wanted to. But that would be one. If I was a betting man, I'd go ahead and take Houston on that one because I think Houston's gonna outright win that one. I don't think Atlanta will cover. Anyway, so gotcha games. Back to that question. What?
Yes.
Do you see any out there?
I see 3 gotcha games on our record, and they're the only 3 after the ones we've talked about. Well, not necessarily the only 3, but they're 3 on the back half of our graphic that we all unanimously picked. I'm not picking gotcha games for the ones that have a couple in each spot because, that's a fair debate for everybody.
Yeah.
I think the gotcha game this week, I think there's 2 for sure, and then one that my heart just says is a gotcha game. But the 2 for sure, I think, is Philly and LA Rams. Because, like we said before, Stafford came out and looked good. I don't know what we're going to get this week for the LA Rams, and I hope Philly has it figured out for the sake of the picks. Because Philly, I think they're getting some steam. They're going. They're getting closer.
Yeah.
Every single tush push they do, they're getting better, I guess. But they've been kind of hit and miss, and I think LA has been kind of hit and miss, so we'll see who fires and who doesn't this week. The other gotcha game, we all picked them because they are definitely the team to beat this year, but that rivalry is as old as any. I think Dallas and San Francisco could be a gotcha game, even though we all picked San Francisco because that defense, they're going to want to do well. They're going to want to compete against the best running back in the league right now. They're going to want to make it a fight, even if they are in San Francisco. I think that rivalry from the 90s is renewed, and it'll be a dogfight for that game, I think.
Okay. Now they're in San Francisco. I don't know how well of a home field advantage they get, but if it was in Dallas, I would put more weight on the gotcha of that one. The one that I think, I know you said there's 3, and it's probably your third one. Is that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game? Is that your other gotcha, or what do you think?
That was not
one?
my third one. I think Baltimore is just rolling a little too fast for Pittsburgh at this point. As much as I praised their defense the last couple weeks, that was not the one I had as a gotcha, but I can see it being one. The one that my heart had as a gotcha was I hope Minnesota KC is close, at least. We all picked KC, and Minnesota's coming off a win, and they're going to be fired up. So you never know.
It's in Minnesota.
And some trash talking has been had from the Minnesota corner and defensive backs saying that they're going to shut down Kelsey and they're going to shut up Taylor Swift.
I was just going to say.
I don't know if that. I want it to happen. By God, I want it to happen. And you guys obviously know I do. I mean, look, I have my new football jersey,
by the way,
all that stuff.
Sweet new jersey in the background. That used to be a Kirk Cousins jersey, and now it's a Hawkinson jersey. And that's that.
Not that I'm losing faith.
No.
I did not lose faith in Kirk. I just wanted to put up the throwback because I think it is the best throwback.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I'm biased.
It's that throwback that we got this year.
So cool.
Yeah, that is sweet. That is sweet.
If you want to know more of our thoughts on throwbacks, go check out our episode where we partnered with Sergio from Downset Drip and talked about all of them. It was super fun. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
know
that
you
was a
did.
good
I
that
think
was a good
Sergio
time.
did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a good episode. I enjoyed that. As we're progressing through this NFL season, um I don't want to say I'm missing the other things we did, but I'm looking back on them and going, we had some pretty fun, cool
We did.
shows. We had F1, and I know I've already said it million times, but we had F1 guys from England on. By the way, we're still, and this is in the future going to happen. Michael Deeb from the Savannah Bananas is going to come on eventually.
That's going to be awesome.
And of course we had Kai Stewart on, the BKFC champion. I mean, we've had some pretty
I've got a couple things in the works too
shows
for our end, so
Yes.
we might have some other stuff. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. So this, I tell you what, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're in football season. We're doing football right now. That's the focus. But I'm already excited for other things when they come up, because it was a lot of fun doing all those other shows, and I'm looking forward to the ones that are gonna be coming up, no doubt. But speaking of that throwback, Annie Agar, who we mentioned, she sees a lot of our posts. We say Sierra is kind of our Annie Agar. She actually, I believe, had a throwback Minnesota jersey on as well
she did.
this week for her week 4 recap. Which, if you don't know what that is,
they're
man
awesome.
alive, just look up Annie, spelled Annie, Annie, Agar, Agar. Look her up on, I think, probably Instagram. I see her on TikTok. But she does these weekly reviews of the NFL, and she plays all parts. So she plays the parts of the NFL, of the coaches, of the players, and it's just quick cuts back and forth. I wish I could put it up here, without getting copyrighted, because it's just such great stuff. I absolutely love her stuff.
She's great. And I also I'll shout out one of my favorites that I saw before I was turned on to Annie Agar, which they do very similar stuff. It's Benchwarmer Brand on Instagram and TikTok. He does very similar stuff. He does some fantasy football ones, even like Busts Anonymous if they have a terrible week. Like, he does some great stuff, and those are all hilarious. And we love watching their stuff. So here's a shout out, free promotion from us to them. So go check them out, give them a follow.
Absolutely,
they're great stuff.
Absolutely, and hopefully we can collab with some of these people. Of course, I send messages to the big wigs, Tom Brady, which I'll never hear from. I've sent Annie Agar one saying, "Hey, would you ever come on?" I don't ever expect to hear from her. But there are some out there that do surprise us and get back to us, and there's some others that we're kind of like, I think we can probably handle that, and we've had some good luck doing that. So back to it, though. I'm sorry, I kind of went down a rabbit hole here, or there. The Kansas City Minnesota game, as much as I'd like to say that's a possible gotcha game, I don't think it is. I don't know. The one entertaining factor I believe Minnesota might bring to the game is the Swelsey smack talk, as we say.
Yeah.
The Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. I'm sure, and I don't know that Minnesota is necessarily a big smack talk region type. That's not really their thing. The Skull is their deal, but I don't know. This Taylor Swift thing, it was cool the first 2 times. The NFL shows her in the booth, every 3 seconds, and I would too, because she's gold. But I think I'm expecting Minnesota to maybe some boys to maybe some signs out there. I don't know. I expect to see a little bit of tomfoolery. And
I'm a little over the Taylor Swift thing. I mean, to the point where we're even saying Taylor Swift's name first. We're an NFL show, and we're saying her name before Travis Kelce. I am a little over it. I mean, it's good TV. It's good internet. Everyone's getting follows for it. But everyone was focused, even last week, on Taylor Swift, and everyone was like, oh, my God. Not even thinking about the fact that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
That's what I was like.
All of them, they were all right.
She brought Blake Lively, and
that's cool, and no one cared.
Yeah, well, I did. I love him, and the fact that Hugh Jackman was up there. I don't think he even got FaceTime on the TV. Not that whatever, you get it. But I hope that Minnesota at least is able to put up some points and make some sort of game, because those signs and those things, I don't think we'll see them if if Minnesota's just getting destroyed by Kansas City. So we shall see. Like I said earlier, New York Jets, Denver, that was kind of a tough one to pick. San Francisco, Dallas, we all went there. San Francisco, like you said, it could be a gotcha. I'm not so sure on that one. I mean, CMC and those boys are absolutely rolling right now. It's between them and Philly, if you ask me.
I agree for the NFC, but I think Dallas is a solid third place for the NFC right now.
Dallas is so, every time that they finally, it's like, okay, now they got it together. Then they just go and they dud one out. And it's like, they just can't get over themselves. They can't get out of their own way, it feels like, So that's why I'm just not, I'm not totally sold on the Dallas thing. Last one, though, and I do want to talk about one other thing with Monday Night Football. So let me actually start with that. Monday Night Football, do you watch the actual broadcast, or do you watch the Manning cast?
I watched the actual one. The Manning cast, I don't know why. I probably would like it if I watched it more, but I don't know if I can really get into it just because at times they're not focused on the game and I just want to watch the game.
Yeah. The first year they did it, the first few shows, they were definitely a lot more about the game. And I do agree. I wish there would be more of that. But I understand, the draw, the big thing right now is the NFL's trying to get their fingers in all the pies. That's why we had, a Toy Story game, which, by the way, the fact that they can do that is amazing.
It was so wild.
And we've got I'm sure they still do the Nickelodeon games with like the slime and all that stuff. So I understand why the Manning brothers bring on, they have to bring on all these guests and whatnot. I thought that their guests were a bit of a dud. I always watch the Manning cast because I love the Peyton Manning, Eli, when they get bantering back and forth. And it's
so good. I
ripped a little video from them and put it out there and probably got copyrighted for it. But anyway, I enjoy them. So I watch the Manning cast. I'm a Manning cast guy. I am. So back to this Monday night coming up. Green Bay, Las Vegas. I think Jimmy G has got at least somewhat of a concussion, right?
Something. I don't know what's going on.
I've got it in front of me. I don't know why I don't even pull it up. So injuries, Las Vegas. Yeah, he's questionable with a concussion. So, and Devontae Adams is questionable with a shoulder. Green Bay, I felt like maybe Jordan Love is finally going to get back to it and start throwing some seeds out there. So that's why I picked Green Bay. It looks like Bo and Bully are the two that went with Vegas, but everybody else went Green Bay.
I never would have seen that from Bo. I thought Bo probably gagged picking Vegas the same way I gagged picking Green Bay.
Fair enough.
Division rivals.
Yes.
No way. I mean, I hated picking Green Bay, but Vegas, they go up and then they go way down. And then they go up a little bit and they go way down.
Hey, Gil the Goat, by the way, is back in the comments. Hello, Gil.
Hey.
It's good to see you. Anyway, sorry, I stepped on you there.
If Vegas is hurt, then I don't see how they can get themselves out of that. Yeah. I think Green Bay is they're just a better team, as much as I hate to admit it.
Yep. So I think that's we'll see. We'll see who surprises us this week. It should be interesting. But this week is the first week we have buys, and we've got Cleveland, Chargers, the Seahawks, and good old Tampa Bay are on a bye this week.
So if you picked any of those four teams, you're not wrong, but you're also not right.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah, you're going to go over on those, but you're also going to go over the other way. So.
Over on that too. So yeah.
So no wins, no losses. Anyway, shoot. Well, that's it. That is our show. That's what we've got, brother. Do you have anything else that we need to cover before we go out and watch this game that either has just kicked off or is just about to kick off?
Only other thing I would say is if you like this and want to see more, go back in our catalog. It's under the live tab on YouTube. You can watch all of our previous shows. I know at the very end we list our socials, but go follow those on Instagram and TikTok. Duct Tape Dynasty is the main one on TikTok for the main page. On Instagram, it's DuctTapeDynasty_official. And then we have a couple of affiliate pages, DTD.Big Sky Country. That's my page. I try and put out some really cool stuff. And then 5280 Sports Wire is Bo's page, all tied in under the Duct Tape Dynasty umbrella. So if you don't want to go see some cool stuff, give those pages a follow, like what you see. And if you want to see more, just follow them, follow the show here on YouTube, and we'll have some cool stuff coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll have shows every week.
Yeah. And, you know, I failed to mention it at the beginning. I usually do. I have a little thing that pops up that's actually there to remind me to say it. So if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and share our stuff, if you will. Get us out there. We're trying to just get seen and see if we can get a following. I mean, but that's if you're entertained. Are you not entertained? If you think it sucks, then see you later. I mean, sorry. But hopefully we're putting together somewhat of a good product for you. I'm putting a lot of work into it and having a lot of fun doing it. So, yeah, definitely check out those socials. Thank you for mentioning those. I should have. And shoot, I guess that's it then, brother. I guess let me see if we've got any comments that we need to get to. Gil, thank you again for tuning in. It's always good to see you in the comments. Hey, show up sooner if you can and help make some picks with us. We'd love to see you making picks in the comments as well. And that goes for anybody out there. You want to put picks in the comments, we'll read them and we'll try to get back to them and reference them and see how people do. Eventually, I'd like to have maybe an in-studio guest picker, or really even on the phone, bring a guest picker in and see how they do for the week. Obviously, they wouldn't be in the overall stats, but it'd be kind of fun to do something like that. So we shall see. There's plenty more weeks. As well, I say that, but it's going to be over before we know it. But there are a lot of weeks left, and that is an outstanding thing because we all love football here, and that's why we're doing this. So with that said, brother, let's go watch some football. There's going to be some credits. There's, like I said, there's going to be a little bit of that QB54. Afterwards, it'll show you a little video on that and what that's about. And yeah, shoot, with that, let's turn on some music. Let's sign off. Hey, thanks again for stepping up. And again, boys,
always,
any of you, come on. If you want to be on, let's do it. Otherwise, Andrew's going to keep taking over. Pretty soon, he'll be running the show, and I'll be kicked out. So, anyway, guys, we love you. Y'all are the best. Seriously, thanks for tuning in. Share, comment, like, all those things. And come back next week, and let's see how we did. All right, brother. See ya.